The Crow of Riverdale Road. There's something off about Riverdale Road in Colorado. Locals will tell you it's haunted, cursed even. But I didn't believe in any of that not until the crow appeared. It started on a late October afternoon. The sky was heavy with low-hanging clouds, casting the road in a dim, otherworldly light. I had heard the legends about Riverdale ghostly hitchhikers, phantom runners, but I was just passing through, planning to take a shortcut on my way back to Denver. I was halfway down the stretch when I noticed the crow. It swooped in low from the trees lining the road and began following my car. At first, it seemed like a coincidence. Birds flew near cars all the time, but this was different. It didn't veer off, didn't caw or flap away. It followed. Its black, beady eyes locked onto me through the rearview mirror. I sped up, hoping to lose it. The road twisted, winding its way deeper into the eerie stillness of the woods, but the crow stayed with me, effortlessly keeping pace. I could feel its eyes boring into the back of my head. Suddenly, the radio in my car crackled and cut out. Silence except for the sound of my engine. My skin prickled with a cold sensation as the temperature inside the car seemed to drop. I glanced back up at the rearview mirror. There it was, still flying in perfect rhythm with my car. I tried to shake it off, rolling down my window and yelling at the bird, hoping to scare it away. But then something strange happened. The crow shifted. Its shape twisted in the air, becoming larger, darker, almost human-like. For a split second, it seemed to have a face, a pale, hollow-eyed face that looked like it belonged to something long dead. My heart hammered in my chest. This wasn't just a bird. I didn't know what it was, but it wasn't natural. I hit the gas, swerving around a curve in the road, the tires screeching. The crow thing vanished from my sight, and for a moment I thought I'd outrun it. But then a sharp sound rang out, thump, thump, thump. It was on the roof of my car. I slammed on the brakes, the car screeching to a halt in the middle of the desolate road. Everything went still. My breath came in short, ragged bursts, and I slowly turned my head to look through the windshield. In front of the car, standing in the road, was a figure tall and thin, dressed in tattered black. Its face was hidden beneath a hood, but I could feel its gaze cold, penetrating, and ancient. It raised one bony hand and pointed directly at me. Suddenly, the crow swooped down from the trees, circling the figure before landing on its outstretched arm. The figure began walking toward me, slow and deliberate, the crow's call echoing through the empty road. I fumbled for the keys, my hands shaking as I threw the car into reverse. As I sped backward, the figure disappeared into the fog, and the crow lifted into the air once more, following me like a dark shadow. I didn't stop driving until I reached the lights of the nearest town, the road no longer twisting behind me, but the sense of dread clinging to my skin. The crow was gone, but something told me this wouldn't be the last time I'd see it. You don't leave Riverdale Road, it stays with you, and so does the crow. Road of Sorrows. Riverdale Road in Colorado is infamous for its eerie history, and as the sun sank beneath the horizon, casting an ominous glow over the landscape, it became the perfect setting for terror. Mia and her friends had heard the stories about Riverdale Road, how it was haunted, cursed, and downright dangerous after dark. Urban legends about ghostly hitchhikers, phantom runners, and even a man who burned down his mansion, killing his entire family, lingered in the air. Mia, however, didn't believe in any of it. She was always the skeptic. That night she was determined to prove her friends wrong by driving down the road herself. "Let's just do it. I'm not scared," Mia insisted, pulling her car onto the narrow stretch of Riverdale Road. The wind seemed to howl a little louder as they entered, twisting the branches of the surrounding trees like clawed hands. As they ventured deeper, the street lights became more sparse, the darkness thickening around them. The atmosphere shifted. What had seemed like a fun dare now felt unsettling. The car's headlights illuminated twisted trees that looked like skeletal figures. Every so often, Mia thought she saw something or someone lurking in the shadows on the side of the road, but it was too fleeting to be sure. Then they passed the rusted remains of an iron gate. Mia recognized it immediately from the stories. This was the gate leading to the ruins of the burned mansion. Her friends grew quiet. The oppressive silence weighed on them as if the road itself was watching, waiting. Suddenly, out of nowhere, the car jerked violently to the left as if someone had grabbed the wheel. Mia yanked it back, her heart racing. What the hell was that? She gasped, looking around, but the road was empty. Her friends sat frozen, fear etched on their faces. "I don't know, but maybe we should turn back," one of them whispered. Mia hesitated, but just as she was about to agree, something caught her eye in the rearview mirror. A figure. A man, running. He was sprinting at an unnatural speed, rapidly closing the distance between them. "He's getting closer," one of her friends screamed, her voice shaking with terror. Mia pressed the gas pedal hard, speeding up, but no matter how fast she drove, the man kept pace. His face, though barely visible in the dim light, was twisted with fury, his eyes glowing with an inhuman fire. Then, without warning, the man vanished, gone as if he had never been there at all. They all let out a breath, their bodies tense, but Mia's hands remained gripping the wheel, knuckles white. Her phone buzzed in the Q folder. The screen flashed with an incoming text. Without thinking, Mia glanced down at it. Her heart dropped. The message was from her own number, though she had never sent it. "Don't stop." Before she could react, the headlights flickered, and in that moment of darkness, the car slammed to a halt. They were thrown forward, the seat belts biting into their chests. The engine died. The road was silent again, eerily still. Then, in the blackness ahead, headlights appeared, blinding, angry. A truck barreled toward them, horns blaring, screeching its tires. Mia tried to start the car, but it wouldn't turn over. Her friends screamed, pounding on the windows, but it was too late. The truck was nearly upon them, when it veered sharply, at the last second, disappearing into thin air, vanishing just as the running man had. The car finally roared to life, and Mia wasted no time tearing out of there. When they reached the end of Riverdale Road, they didn't speak. No one ever talked about what happened that night, but Mia knew. Riverdale Road wasn't just haunted by the ghosts of its past. Something darker lived there, something that wanted to keep them, and it almost had.